Yeah, hey everyone. My name is Jesse Olive. I am a small business sales and marketing professional. I have about 25 years of experience. Part of the nature of working in a small business is wearing multiple hats. So I've done a lot over the years, including sales. I've worked on shoestring budgets, more considerable budgets, what have you. But this is a process I developed working for a friend's startup that was highly effective. I've used it again and trained someone else on it. It was very effective as well. And I've been meaning to share it for a while. And so here you go. Pardon the informality. But this is just something I wanted to get out there and hopefully benefit some people. It's very cost effective. In fact, you can do it on a shoestring budget. It doesn't really require any cost up front. Um, I'll explain the cost here in a second. Really, it's just about time. So if you have an employee that's doing this and overseeing this role, then you're basically going to pay for their time, or you can do it yourself at no cost, right? So that being said, the system that I created basically involves using a tool called Link Match. Okay, and you can sign up for that for a free trial that I think is like 2 weeks or something like that, that you can use heavily for the first 2 weeks following this process and fill a lead board pretty quickly, at least a board of prospects, if not leads, um, before you've even paid a dime, right? The other tool, well, you can use any of these tools. I've used Zoho a little bit, but never with this, and it's been years. I mostly use HubSpot, so there's that. The first thing you're going to need to make sure of after you've signed up for both of those accounts is to log in. If you're logged in, log out of Link Match, then log back in, and it will prompt you to connect your CRM, which you also need to be logged into, I believe, to your Link Match account. It's very simple. It's very intuitive. Just follow the steps. Boom, you're in. And once you're in, then you'll be looking at something like this, basically where you're matching the fields in HubSpot with the fields in Link Match, and you're basically going to this helps you parse the data out of LinkedIn into the appropriate fields into Link Match, and then therefore HubSpot, because I believe these all mimic HubSpot. You also want to make sure your lead statuses are set up. You can go to settings, then go to properties, then search for status, click on lead status, go to field type, add new ones, turn off. You can't delete, but turn off the standard lead statuses and make sure that's all configured, because once you start pulling in those prospects from LinkedIn, you're gonna need to actually have you want it to go straight into that first lead status. And then obviously, if you're good with HubSpot, I don't know if you can do it with the free version anymore. I know you could for a while, but you can start setting up basically automatic processes that are triggered based on whatever the status is, etc. Right? So anyhow, there's that. So let's get started. The next thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and have some scripts in place. I'm using a pool company as an example, or pool companies, I should say. And the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you have written an intro script, a connection request script. You only get 200 characters, so you have to be brief, that you send along with the connection request. You'll need to make sure that when you try to connect with the individual, that you, let's see, I'll just go ahead and show you. I'm going to choose a different one because I've already added her. So we'll choose Andy. You're going to want to hit connect. Make sure you click add a note. Okay. All right. So you saw a little foreshadowing of what you want to do first. You want to use Google for your searches. I think you need to use a private window. Uh, when I used this last couple years ago, it allowed you to sort of finagle your way around the limitations LinkedIn places on you if you're not using Sales Navigator in their general search up here when you're searching for companies, prospects, whatever, right? Here you can get an unlimited list. Just make sure you use some keywords. It's also easier, I think. And then make sure you put LinkedIn so it'll produce LinkedIn profiles. And then you'll do just what I did. You'll choose one, hit control click. I think that actually is important. For one thing, it allows you to leave this list open. You can just go back and forth. You have to forgive me, my internet connection is running a little slow. And so again, you'll wait for this button to pop up. You'll hit connect, add a note, and then go copy your script, and then go back to your connection request, change the name, and go ahead and send off the connection request. Okay. So next thing you want to do is go ahead and hit add to HubSpot. And let's see what information. So this is interesting. So here you'll see that work email and email. Actually, yeah. So no, it did. It pulled in his email into HubSpot. Let's see here. I don't see a phone number. So go ahead and hit create contact. You get what you can from their public profile. So go ahead and do that, and then just go over to your CRM. Go ahead and check and make sure that everything's been stored. And again, if you have some automation set up, you might have a template that goes straight to them as soon as they're stored into the CRM. But I don't recommend that at this juncture. You want to be sort of tasteful as you go through this process if possible. So you've got their information, right? So let's say Andy accepts my connection request and I'm ready to follow up. Okay. So I would say day one, you're going to do what I just did all day long. Just send out a bunch of connection requests. Okay. As many as you want. You can do hundreds in one day if this is all you're doing and you're just getting started. So the next day when you come in, you should have, or at least I did, quite a few acceptances, right? So then you're ready to go to the next step. So what I would do is I would spend the first part of my day following up on those connection requests because in sales time is of the essence. And then I would, once I was done doing that, then I would go back to the process I just showed you, right? So what that would entail basically would be going to your follow-up message, which should be longer in format. And then also, I believe here, I don't actually have a link set up yet, but yeah, so you can add a link to a Calendly invite or a similar tool. That way if they're really interested, they're chewing out a lot of the fat of the process. And they're going to go ahead and set up a call with you. So always offer them that ability in your emails. Obviously, you can't through the connection request, but through your email and your follow-up message. So that being said, let's say Shandel was, she's actually just a connection of mine. But let's say that she was someone who accepted a connection request and I came in the next day. The first thing you're going to want to do is, this won't say add to HubSpot because they're already going to be in HubSpot. I think it will read something else, but you click that button again because again, LinkedIn the user may only show certain information to the public on LinkedIn. So once you are connected with them, they may share more information. For instance, that phone number I didn't have from Andy, right? So you can click on that, and then it'll scrape everything it doesn't already have, and then update the record back in HubSpot. Then the next thing you're going to want to do, and I'm not going to hit send, obviously, is come in and then paste your follow-up message to them. And then what I also like to do is then send them what I call a courtesy email as well. So you've hit them now in 2 different places. Okay. So that's pretty easy. You just there's a couple different ways you can do this. You could go to the record and have some automation set up. And this sometimes is great as long as you have all the variables right in the template, and then change the lead status to contacted or connected. Sorry. I need to update this. Attempted to contact and contacted to me are the same thing. So I would eliminate one of those. The next status for me before they actually became an opportunity would be connected, because they haven't expressed any interest yet. They've just accepted my request. So I could change this to connected, have some automation in place. I don't know if that's out of the box or not at this juncture, but that shoots off a template. Or you could just make sure that you've updated the status, and then you can manually send them. Let's see, I haven't connected my inbox. Anyways, I'm not going to configure all this. So you'll need to have all this configured. And then you just paste it into you fill out the subject, paste the script, and then shoot that off, right? So then what I like to do, so then they have the email, they have the message. Obviously, if they respond through LinkedIn, you'll want to really keep the conversation there, unless it organically somehow if they start responding to an email. I like still staying through chat because it's live. You can see them. I like to have this up so you can see everyone that's hitting you up, and you can just bounce back and forth. But anyways, navigate it. Use discretion, right? So that being said, you're really trying to drive them. For me, at least, I have decks set up, so I try to drive them to a web meeting where I can, run them through a deck, let them ask questions and whatever, and then, navigate that sales process. And then obviously keep in the CRM, where they're at in that journey, which would be the life cycle stage. Just update that, once they're saying, okay, yeah. Once they're willing to hop on a call with me and go through a presentation, that's an opportunity for me. But anyways, just make sure you have this updated as well. But you may not actually get that right away, and so there's a couple other things, right? You might not even hear from them right away. So once they connect with you, I don't like doing this before they connect with you, because the fact that they connected with you, again, I wait until they've actually connected with me on LinkedIn to send the email. That gives you sort of an in, right? Because they've actually accepted your connection request. So that email, is phrased very, upfront right away. Thank you for accepting my connection request on LinkedIn. There's a lot of psychology that goes into that one statement. They're like, oh, I'm connected with this person. They might feel a little obligated to respond. It may sort of trigger like, yeah, I like what they had to say. I'm interested in reading this. Again, I hit them up front pretty quickly with the with data, and again, data in a quantifiable fashion is much stronger than qualifiable. So just saying, oh, I grew a company last year or something, obviously saying it more sophisticated than that still doesn't speak as loudly as data does. They want to know revenue a lot of times. So anyways, just make sure that's pretty upfront. Again, you give them more information, give them the ability to schedule a web meeting. But then also at that point, what I like to do is go ahead and call. They say it's my experience is it's very true. Cold calling is it's a numbers game, low percentage, low conversion rates. If companies rely solely on that, and I think in the consumer, in the consumer business, there isn't a lot of sales like that. If anything, it's inbound. But in the B2B world, I just think you need to utilize social media and CRMs, email, whatever you have, right? And hit people with multiple touch points. But a call is still can work. And if you do it on top of all of this and you do it tactfully and strategically, it can get you into some conversations, maybe even more quickly, right? Because they may not check their email right away, or they can put things down. But you want to be careful when you're talking to them. So I wrote a little script for myself, for a call, some if and else sort of things, but logic. But so I like to open up, basically letting them know again. Once again, we're already connected. I thought I'd give you a courtesy call and ask them right away, are they busy? Let them know you respect their time. If they say yeah, then try to get a more convenient time to schedule a web meeting. Not just a call. Can I call you back later? To say, well, can I get you on a web meeting? Can you schedule a time for that? That's if they're busy. This should say no, or no. If they say yes, let's do that. Obviously, schedule it right away. Send them an invite. If they say no, then just tell them you'll send a courtesy email and a follow-up message, on LinkedIn. Remind them. Let's see here. I may need to take that part out. Yeah, no, just tell them you'll send a courtesy. You'll follow up with them at a later time, and just tell them you think they'll like. No, I'm sorry. So here's what I did: is I referenced the email that I sent them in the message, and tell them there's some good information I think that that you think that is pertinent to them, that they may appreciate, and then obviously say if you have time at a later time. After looking at that, let them know you'd be excited to run them through more information, have a conversation, but then offer to follow back up with them in a couple of weeks or so, if that's okay. Because some will just they don't want to commit to reading anything. They just, but they'll just say, yeah, just call me back, right? And it may be that they do look at it and they forget to call you back. So whatever, it's always good to offer that and make sure that you do it. Schedule a reminder, what have you. Those are in HubSpot. There you go. Let's see. Anyway, so you run them through that, and then I'm trying to think what. Okay, yeah, and I already said that. Yeah, if they say follow up with me, then calendar that, right? And then the other thing that this is really good for. So sales is a numbers game regardless. I know I said that earlier, but the last thing is it's also what this does is it allows you to build over time a curated audience. If you do this every day, you can build within a month over 1,000 targeted connections, and then make sure that you drip content on your LinkedIn profile that helps nurture that audience, because it's happened to me before. They may start sharing your information with someone else in the industry. They may already be committed to someone. It may get them to pick up the phone and call you. So again, I've used this process on 2 different occasions. completely different industries, just tailor a little bit different for that industry, and it's highly effective. I hope it works for you. And please click on the referral links, by the way, below, because, yeah, I get a little money from these providers, not HubSpot, but the link match, if you click on the referral link. Thank you for watching.